The interface. The control system of a xyborn or a xybornx is purely a thought-controlled mechanism. But then, the pilot is, in essence, a thought process. Remember, the author's universe 26, Xyborn. The Roy. Art, the race of ideas, the Roy, with at very least a capital R, believe STEM exist without awareness, responsive thought, such as they do have themselves. Remember, universal edict. And in particular, in all of the Roy and the Roy of choice, there is a universal edict, out of which the spawning ground and ascension can be found, and it is from this that my story begins. Valuation. The Roy of choice had knowledge of the Roy and themselves, and particularly of there being a difference between them, and the valuation system developed, like there might be the value of one kind of order over that of another kind of order, and the value of one was supreme over the choice of another. It all began from here with the author's universe 7, the Roy 1. The sphere. Every world the Roy inhabits is a sphere more than it is a planet, and there is no place thought of where they do not exist. For the Roy are not a race of beings, but they are the race of ideas that inhabit them and everything else. The processes. How many other people and processes have taken place for you, the viewer, the watcher and the reader, to be there? How many halls of learned education, and over what sort of time? And none of it is considered. Part 1 of the author's universe 28. Piloting. Being constructed. The pilots of the Xyborn and the xybornx vessels were learning how to operate their vehicles from the moment they were being constructed, but not in the way that you might become a pilot. Where the Roy fit in. The pilots of the Xyborn and xybornx vessels are of the race of ideas, Roy, of awareness, responsive thought, art, of the honourable existence, he, and supremely honourable existence, she, galaxies. Remember, the Roy. Art, the race of ideas, the Roy, with at very least a capital R, believe STEM exist without awareness, responsive thought, such as they do have themselves. The sphere. Every world the Roy inhabits is a sphere more than it is a planet, and there is no place thought of where they do not exist. For the Roy are not a race of beings, but they are the race of ideas that inhabit them and everything else. Into being. Once the Roy art take the position of a xyborn or xybornx pilot, and as soon as they enter the massive expanding spatial system, MESS, they come into being as a collective, and it will be almost impossible to separate the pilot from the race of ideas they truly are. And the only thing considered is the behaviour of the vessel as a single identity, one being. Q&A. The reader. What do the Roy and or Roy look like? The author. They have no form, for they are ideas, and we cannot see an idea, but visualize that an idea is a thought process. But here is something to assist you. The Roy with a capital R are the race of ideas that need a different kind of metric requiring a different kind of measuring, and they are also called art, because they are of awareness, responsive thought. They are like, but not the same as, quantum fields that pull together to create everything from the subatomic level upwards. Forever thinking, reasoning, and affirming the result of activity. The Roy, all in lowercase, are the race of ideas that have a measurability, and they are also called STAM, meaning they are of space, time and matter. They are like, but not the same as, hardware at the atomic level, the stuff of which everything is made of. The Roy, all in capital letters, are the really orderly inhabitants because they adhere to very strict laws of obedience, giving them a recognizable form of measurable structure. They are like, but not the same as, matter, made from the combination of many atoms that abide by very strict laws of coherence, to be recognized as something by those laws they abide by. To add to this, the author's universe is all the ideas of the author, pure software, and the massive expanding spatial system, the MESS, is that part of the author's universe which is available to the viewers, the watchers, and the readers to hear, watch, and interpret. For example, there is more to an author of a book than the book, but the book is written to the author's chosen race of ideas. The creative, so as to be more easily understood by you, the viewers, the watchers and the readers, the Roy Art's being is their vessel and is their body made of Roy STAM. Conjunction. The xyborn is masculine and the xybornx is feminine, and without their vessels they would remain as the races of ideas Roy Art and Roy STAM. The model. A vessel being xyborn or xybornx is governed by the greater of the he Roy or she Roy at the helm during the creative process. C. The pilots. The race of ideas, the Roy of awareness responsive thought, art, from the he galaxy and the she galaxy, were the pilots of the xyborn and the xybornx vessels, and the really orderly inhabitants, Roy, are their crew, and they are made from the race of ideas, the Roy of space, time and matter, Stam. C. The he Roy and the she Roy. The xyborn was built with the he Roy in mind, and the xybornx was built with the she Roy in mind. The race of ideas, the Roy of awareness responsive thought, that manoeuvred these vessels on their course through the massive expanding spatial system, the mess, and categorized. Where something exists without the ability to make a choice, the Roy exists, and where there is such a thing as choice, in you or in any other creature, the Roy are capitalized.